Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I say good morning. It could be good evening wherever you are, but for me, it's in the morning. So it's a very early Sunday morning, and I'm here in Bangkok, Thailand. Today, we're going to talk about what we didn't talk about yesterday. We're going to finish up and we're going to talk about how to safely reopen Thailand for tourism and tourists and visitors and travel. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We're going to talk about the importance of having people being able to come back over to Thailand and what it means for Thailand. And we can give our suggestions among ourselves. Of course, we're not actually talking to the Thai government because they're whatever they do is their decision. We're not really worried about that. This is just us talking, and these are our opinions only. They don't matter, nor should they persuade. Well, I won't say your opinion doesn't matter, but shouldn't have any direct impact on the Thai government in any way, form, or fashion. Good morning to Prep for it, Lyle. I hear you. I don't know what baseball math is, but I'll take your word for it, buddy. Robert, good morning, sir. Griffin, hello. Good to see you. Rocco, Andy, it's good to see everybody in the chat this morning, and I hope we have a lot more people coming in. Robert, if you don't mind, can you throw the channel member link up there? Because I'm going to do a couple, maybe something special things for channel members this week. And if you want to be a channel member, it's only $2.99 a month. It's great. Greg, good evening to you, sir. Anon, it's great to see you, man. Let's start. I think this is gonna be a slow roll in here, and we're gonna start with some news again from this was just posted. Thank you, Robert. That is the channel member link. So if you would like to become a channel member and be cool and awesome and really be a part of the DoMoreLife family and get to see some pictures and some other things that I don't always share publicly, and we still have the DoMoreLife email up and running, although it doesn't really. I find it's faster for you guys to message me than it is for the email, but additional content is coming, and I'm about to make it worth it all. So, and it's an easy way to support the channel. It really is. So consider doing that, and let me tell you what is going on in the land of Thailand right now, and then we will discuss getting tourists and tourism back to Thailand. Tiger Eyebrow says more everybody. Yes, Tiger Eyebrow is a member, Robert's a member, Rocco's a member, Griffin's a member. A whole lot of people are members in there. Greg said this football playoff night in America might be a tad slow. That's okay. That's all right. People can come back and watch this later because I think it's an important subject. I think it's a very important subject to cover. And, if the playoffs are on, then I expect it to be low viewer count. Anyway, I've got some videos to edit today so I can put out for you guys tomorrow. And I can already tell you, Greg, it is definitely a lower viewer count than what we're normally used to. But in the spirit of making things normal here, I want to tell you what is going on with the illness situation in Thailand. Right now, this is from the Pattaya News Daily. TPN also registered this, and it says that all eyes on Sriracha. All eyes on Sriracha cluster as Rayon, Trat, Chanthaburi, and rest of Chonburi sees major reduction in the illness cases and improvement. That's pretty good news because if they've got it down to now they got it down to a city in Chonburi, which is cool. Griffin, you only did 5 miles. Shame on you. I probably couldn't do 500 meters and I would fall over. What's up, Elite Class Trucking? I hadn't seen you in a while, brother. Roger, what's happening, man? Jimmy Jones says, don't worry, a big-headed guy is here. Thanks, thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate that, bro. Um, the Eastern Economic Corridor of Thailand says a cluster of the illness that was originally started from alleged illegal gambling establishments around, and I'm quoting directly, and then crept up to other and eastern provinces due to gamblers traveling around the area, seems to mostly be coming under control, according to Thai public health officials. Although there is a concern in Sriracha Chambri. Trat, which is classified as a deep red zone and highly controlled despite having relatively few cases, and several days of 0 cases in a row, recorded only 1 case today. Their classification, according to public health officials, is mostly based on their proximity and ease of travel to other eastern provinces. This has frustrated the local business owners in the province who face strict restrictions and measures despite a relative lack of the illness being there. Let me catch some comments. I saw some coming up there. When do you think they will allow Americans to Thailand? You can come right now if you want to, if you got the money. You can come right now and do a ASQ, 14-day ASQ, and get your visa, whatever visa you want, 45-day visa, special tourist visa, and you can bring it right on. I strongly encourage you to get a lawyer, preferably Integrity Legal, just because I know Roger used them and he's had good success thus far. You says, what's going on in Phuket? Is there some life in the bar since they're out of the red zone? So I read an article yesterday. Yes, there is some life in the bars there. So Phuket may be a place to go. Yeah, Greg says we can go anytime if we have enough money and patience. That's true. That's true. Anon says, I am leaving. This is for you, Elite Class Trucking. He says, I am leaving the U.S. a week from tomorrow. You says, yes, Americans are welcome. Just be nice to the embassy staff when you apply. Do not piss them off. That 100%. I agree with that. Yeah, that is good news for people that are trying to come. What we're going to talk about later in the show today is how to get the whole thing back, like the whole spectrum. Whatever is how to open it safely. That kind of thing. What's up, Asia Unscripted? Good to see you, bro. I just read in another chat that you were having some YouTube issues. I hope you got all that stuff fixed. So, the only 2 cases were announced today, and the governor stated that the situation appeared to be coming under control, responding to the mounting criticism. This is in Trat. Responding to the mounting criticism from business owners to be allowed to reopen their businesses. However, the governor said the situation needed a bit more time to ensure that things were safe and that public health officials will be monitoring the situation for the next 14 days before making decisions on allowing restrictions enacted to control the illness to be relaxed. The governor thanked everyone for their hard work on bringing the cases under control and stated he knew how difficult the situation was for business owners and they were working hard to get things open again. And Canterbury announced only 1 new case today, and it also seems to be getting the situation under control. Chambri, 40 cases were announced. Of those cases, 4 were in Banglamung, 1 in Muang Chambri, which is, I believe that's like Northern Rayong, if I'm not mistaken, and 35 of 40 were in Sriracha, where a cluster has emerged from a bar called the 90 Brewery, according to this paper, thepataianews.com, according to this online article. Public health officials have stated that their main concern is currently on the cluster and associated cases and are asking anyone that visited the location around Christmas and New Year's to immediately call the public health department for a free test. Everything else has been. They have theories on how the rest of that article is just theories on how everything got started. There was a couple of things I wanted to read real quick for you though. Before we get started on the how to bring Thailand back safely and quickly for tourism and travel. Yay! There's my notification. Let's see. Agent Script said, "Yeah, I think it's fixed. Needed to do some sorcery to make it happen." Sometimes it takes that on YouTube. You know what I mean? Anon says the new certificate of entry site hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs makes it a lot easier, especially if you're doing an exemption 45-day entry. Is that the one-stop shop? The link that I put up, Anon, when I found out about it, is that the place or is it different? Jim says, JC, in your mind, what's the longest they could keep the ASQ up? There has to be a breaking point. Okay, so no, Anon says it was not the one-stop shop. Okay, cool. I think the ASQ will stay up until this is what I'm going to talk about shortly. Like Thailand is going to have to communicate with the rest of the world. People are going to have to understand that they need certain documents to get in, and those documents are going to entail the magic shot, right? The V. And when they come in and they get the V, or when they come in with the V, that should help to eliminate ASQ. I have a feeling, even though Thailand has ordered millions of doses of this stuff, it's going to take a long time to get it out to everybody in the country. Also, it's going to take, you have to think about people coming in. Maybe they put it together as a package, right? Maybe they put it together as some type of package. You come in, you get the magic shot, you go to a 7-day queue, maybe something like that. I believe Thailand is now hurting so bad. This is my personal opinion. I believe they're hurting so bad. You may see some type of general tourism back in Thailand as early as May. That's what I'm thinking. Hello, Raphael. Good morning. STV is the way to go for me. Yep, the special tourist visa is good if you can afford it. I'm retired, got time and money. Well, there you go, brother. I wish I had been smarter in my 20s. I would be retired and have plenty of money. And I says 555. I was messing with the old process when they started the new COE site, so I already had a plane ticket and ASQ purchase. That's cool. I love your name. Well, yes, I do think I'm a comedian. The V and the Q is real, folks. Yet visa on arrival with no Q necessary for cruise entries. So just so you know, we don't use the entire word on this channel because YouTube doesn't like it. We don't use the V word, the Q word. So for that reason, please don't take this personally. We're just going to, well, yeah, somebody's already taken your message out. If you use those words, we have to take them out for YouTube, not for me. I don't care what you say, man. I'm glad you're here. Doesn't bother me at all. So just to let you know. Elite Class Trucking has said the same thing. I'm not taking that, and that is your right. You don't have to worry about I mean, in my opinion, that's your right. It is what it is. Ben Hill says Thailand will be closed until November 2021. Ben, just out of curiosity, do you have any evidence to support that? I would love to hear about it. Also, up to 80% of frontline workers in USA are refusing the V's. That's understandable. Anon says what I was predicting about how they handled the sea in the beginning was let's see. In the beginning was there was no immunity developed. Yeah. Good point. Very good point, Anon. Very good. Thought they said it's open. It is open. Elite class striking, but when you so here's what happens. You have to go through a process, medical process in your home country, get a certificate of entry. Hey, are you experienced? Good to see you, brother. Get the fit to fly. Come in here and do the necessary health screenings and all that stuff, and then you do a 14-day queue, right, where you stay locked in one room in a hotel of your choice. You can pick from many. The prices range from little bit stupid to crazy stupid, and you can be in that condo, but for 14 days, 15 in total. Actually, you're going to stay in that condo, and after that, that's why they made the new 30-day visa on arrival. You used to come over and get the stamp, and you could stay 30 days and renew it. Well, now they've extended it to 45 days because they know it takes 15 days total for your ASQ and everything else, and then you get the 30 days where you can actually travel, that kind of thing. So yeah, you can definitely do it. Elite class striking. I hope that helps, man. I hope I explained that correctly. Anon says, I think that lack of immunity is why the recent situation got as bad as it did as fast. Yeah, I agree. I could definitely see that happening. At some point, they're going to have to turn the gates on or open the gates a little bit. And, it's just going to have to be that way. That's just all there is to it. At some point. Raphael says the country of Mexico never closed their borders. The government knows no tourism, then people don't work and they don't eat. It's a good point. I think Mexico did the right thing. And there are many other countries around the world that have done the right thing. I'm not saying Thailand did the wrong thing. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying the way to bring it back is going to ultimately, the way to bring back travel and tourism to Thailand is going to be, because the Thais are really, really picky about this stuff. So you're going to have to be viewed by them as non-threatening. Like you can't be a threat to them when it comes to this particular illness. Like you're going to have the magic shot, and or you're going to have to prove that you are no risk medically for them. You're going to have to buy insurance now when you come over here. You're going to have to do there's a lot of things you're going to have to do differently when you come over. Ben Hill says senior management from major hotels November 21. I just think it's going to be sooner than that, Ben. I'm not. It's totally cool that you have that opinion. I just think it's going to be. I've been living here for almost 3 years now, and well, it's almost 3 years, and I've just I just think it's going to be sooner than that, bud. I think it will be. I don't know how much sooner, but I think it'll be a little bit sooner. Let's see here. Elite class trucking says it normally takes 5 years for V's to be. You got to say V, bro. All right, your comment has to come down. I'm sorry. Yes, it does normally take 5 years, but they seem to have done a great job. And I'm talking about the companies that are producing it. Seem to have done a good job. We'll see. We don't know, but we'll see. But until you have until the ASQ is gone, you're not going to see a ton of tourism and travel in Thailand. And that's a problem because Thailand relies heavily. We went over the numbers yesterday. There is 20% of the GDP for the entire country, or maybe 22. I think Medtech corrected me and said 22%. But like in cities like Pattaya, it's 80% of the GDP. Right now, I'm looking at the highlight here. More than 500 Pattaya bot buses and taxis have stopped service due to the current situation, leaving only a skeleton crew in Pattaya. That's bad. I mean, that's just not good. But they are doing a lot of spraying and cleaning. Some of these restaurants, I want to give a big shout out to. I don't know these people. I'm not sponsored by these people. They didn't request this. It says Jomtien Sauna temporarily changes to a restaurant due to government restrictions. Ask how the government plans to support small business owners. So the Jomtien Sauna, I believe this is the same place I've been to once in Jomtien. So I want to give a big shout out to them for converting themselves into an open air restaurant rather than sauna, and they have their employees and they're still making money. Sure, they're not making as much money as they were, but they adapted that, and that's the most crucial point is the businesses can adapt, and I think that's just I think that's awesome. I really do. So good on them. Very good on them. And so you guys know a Pattaya, police raid, illegal gambling gathering, and arrest over 20 people, including many foreign nationals, primarily from China. Okay, so behind the scenes, I fully believe that they're still letting Chinese in. I can't prove it, but that's my thoughts on it. I think it's going to pose a major problem. It's going to pose an even larger problem in the future until just because you don't hear about China having cases and that kind of thing doesn't mean they don't. It's very easy to stay tight-lipped about things. Michael in Oregon, good morning to you, sir. I am very glad to see you, and thank you for dropping by. Prep for it says, like I said, I already had the V for you know what, only went to refuse to be. That's a matter. The second sentence is a matter of subjection, but I hear you. If the V is something that you believe in, or the magic shot as we call it, if that's something that you believe in and you think that you definitely need or have to have it, then by all means do what feels right for you. Raphael says yes, Mr. Fort. Pfizer has no issues on the people I know who took it. That's great. That's great. Absolutely great. It's not even offered to me right now. At this point, I would probably not probably. I would take it myself because eventually you're going to have it. They're already talking about digital passports and digital cards and all that stuff for people to travel. Our experience says I mentioned on Facebook about Air Canada offering. I read that, by the way. Offering travel incentives, but the government of Canada says no unnecessary travel. I was slammed for this and called irresponsible and inconsiderate for wanting to travel. Sounds that almost sounds like an American problem. That's horrible. Our experience, that's bad, man. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I know because I know you personally. Like for those of you that don't know, I've spent time in person with Are You Experienced in Thailand, and I know he would only do the right thing, the safe thing, and he wouldn't travel if he felt it was unsafe. So that's why I'm laughing. And says trouble now is that provinces are having their own cute. Yep, I'm glad you brought that up. Good segue. Trouble now is that provinces are having their own queue, and people go between provinces. Even if it is home queue, it's still problematic for tourism right now. And we discussed that yesterday briefly because, like, you might go to a highly controlled province right now. So the provincial governors are making the decisions on their own provinces. So if you don't do your research, you may go into a province that is highly controlled and you're going to get super screened and checked and all that stuff. And have to have a legitimate reason for being there. And after your legitimate reason for being there is over, when you leave and want to return to your home province, you have to do a self queue at home for up to 14 days. So it kind of defeats the purpose of even going to wherever you need to go, especially if you work in Thailand like I do. Thumbs up, guys. We got some people watching. Let's get the thumbs up going in there. Good point though. And Jimmy Jones says, "I hope you're right on May, but many people won't come." Yeah, with the queue, the ASQ, and having the queue when you come in has got to go away at some point. It has to go away for tourism and travel to come back. It has to. There's no getting around it. There's no swerving to the side to miss it. It's just one of those things that people are going to have to do. When the queue mark my words, when the queue goes away, when they say you no longer have to do a 14-day or even a 1-day queue to come into Thailand, but you don't have to pay for all those extra expenses, and you can come into Thailand as a regular tourist, regular visitor, that kind of thing. Yes, the tourism will return, and it should be safe by that time, because plenty of people should have gotten the magic shot. So good point, both Anon and Jimmy. Greg says, Anon, yes, Phuket requiring 2-week queue for people traveling down from Bangkok. So effectively a double queue if we want to take a travel route. There you go. And that's one reason I can't go to Phuket right now, is because as you guys know, I live in Bangkok. And I would love to go to Phuket, but I can't do it. Not and hold a job. Just can't do it. Raphael says the Philippines is very strict. I was there last January through July. I had to leave the country. Got too slow for me. Now at 47% unemployment due to lockdowns. That happens. And actually the Philippines has banned USA citizens from going over there. So, Anon says, and then you have the new More China, or More China, I should say. There's another one too. It's called, what's it called? Hang on. Thai China. You can use that one as well. And it uses your GPS and your Bluetooth to track everywhere you go. That's true. I think that's going to be something we're going to have to get used to anyway. It just is. It really is, and it's sad. It's very sad, very very sad. But I think now governments are going to be able to keep up with you wherever you go and whatever you do. Hey, Cody, down there at the bottom, I see you, bud. Good to see you this morning. Our experience says, I replied that to see loved ones get away from snow, etc., and the reply from my own cousin was the old, how would you feel if you brought the sea to your loved ones or family? That's just terrible, man. That's terrible. Johnny Ringo says, I agree with November 21. They're shut down now. I don't know why you think it would change suddenly. Think November is a good estimate. I don't think it's going to change suddenly. I know it's going to change suddenly. And here's why I know it's going to change suddenly. because 3 weeks ago, Thailand had ordered approximately 3,020,000 doses of the magic shot, and it was not going to be available until late March to early May. Last week, they published that they ordered another 22 million magic shots, and they would be available potentially by the end of January. So that's why I think there will be a sudden change. You have to realize if you don't live here and you can't look around every day, Thailand is economically dying right now. And it's of the utmost importance that they find their foothold on their golden goose, which is the foreigner and travelers, all that stuff. Sad but true. Jimmy says, when you give your thoughts, give them. That's what we're here for. We know you can't tell the future. Yeah. And the part of that, Jimmy, is like I just try to use logical, pragmatic reasoning to give my thoughts. I was wrong about the opening date before. I was wrong about it again. I might be wrong about it this time. But I see steps that the government's taken this time that they didn't take last time. And for example, one of the other things I think they need to do is put out a one policy. It could have different sections of the policy, but have one policy out there that covers everything, rather than having one district here, one that has its own policy, one district here that has its own policy, one district here that has its own policy. I don't. I think that's going to have to stop when tourism restarts. When Thailand reopens fully, there probably won't be a need for that, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Lyle says, I saw a Bangkok blogger earlier this week, 15-day queue, 2,000 USD, including food. That's actually pretty cheap, Lyle, but I believe you. Anna says, I experience everybody I know in the real world is jealous that I'm traveling. There you go, bud. Rocco says, next fall should be doable for travel if the V works. Thailand should prepare for next high season. I think so. It may be, let me be clear on what I'm saying. When I say things are going to change, I'm talking about being able to drop or minimize the queue time as you come in the country, so that you will see a influx or a greater influx of tourists and travelers coming to Thailand. I'm not saying everything's going to be back to normal, because my personal opinion is I don't think the normalcy, there'll never be normal like it was. The new normal, which will require a lot more paperwork, foot boots on the ground stuff. I think that is. I think that's probably not going to be ready until 2022 at earliest. So I would like to give a big shout out right now to, I won't say his name because I have not seen him up there, but I will hide his name. Thank you so very much, sir, for the $20 PayPal that just came through. I appreciate it very, very much. All PayPals go directly to channel resources, including travel and equipment, and that's it. Doesn't pay my rent, doesn't do any of that stuff. That's why I have a job. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Tim says, hello from America, located in the beautiful state of New Hampshire, where it's cold and snowy. I know you're always cold, Tim. CW says, I came here to see if Jay would do this naked. Negative. Hugh says, yes, the floodgates will open. What if you have a cert from ASQ? Are they going to ask for another 14 days? I can't imagine why they Oh, you mean if you travel interprovincially? It depends on if you travel provincially to a highly controlled zone or not. In my experience, the highly controlled zones uh, would not. You would probably have to do another stay-at-home 14-day queue, which is why all the queues, all those things, have to disappear before you see true tourism come back to Thailand, in my opinion. Let's see here. McTet says at IHOP. I'm not sure what that means, but I'll take your word for it. Roger says, ooh, I think so, but should get you out of having another test. Okay. You says Philippines are ungrateful after all those Americans died freedom from Japan. I lived in the Philippines for 9 months, so I'm familiar with what you're talking about there. There's Amsterdam. He says, good morning. I finally make it. I am currently in a Q hotel in Pattaya. Good, because as soon as it clears out in Pattaya, you will be good to go, Amsterdam, and good for you, man. Good for you. You says if I have to do another 14 days after just getting out of 14 days, I'll stay in Bangkok and work the apps. There you go. And says that Greg, I was thinking about going to Phuket on this trip, but because of the queue requirement, no. Which makes perfect sense. But maybe if I went to Trang for a couple of days, then I wouldn't be coming from a high risk area. Good point. Very good point. Greg says, excellent idea to explore all options like that. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. I agree with you, Greg. I agree with you 100%. You says simple solution, just test. Test folks when they leave and test when they get here. If they're clean, no ASQ. You call. I don't know how to debate that statement because I'm not a professional. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. MedTech says I was wrong in being conceived. It's been a series of subsequent wrong decisions. Conceived, like at birth. It's been a series of subsequent wrong decisions. I know the feeling. I made a lot of them. I'm trying to do better now. I despise that expression as well, and I couldn't think of a better way to describe it at that point when I was talking about it. So, it is what it is. And that was you that sent $20 spot for you to have. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that very, very much. The travel fund or channel fund, definitely use it to travel when I don't have to work, and we got some of those periods coming up, so it's going to be interesting, and we're going to see what happens. There should be a lot of, if everything goes according to plan, there should be a lot of changes coming up around March. We'll see. Yeah, I thought that's what he was meaning. Let's go down some more in the comments. Roger says, I don't think they will end the ASQ until the situation is over. Just my humble opinion. Roger, Roger, I'm inclined to agree with you on that. You have to be here to understand just how terrified the Thai people are of this illness. I mean, it's really bad, and they will probably. I agree. I agree. They probably, until the situation is over. But is it really ever going to be over? That's another question, because I don't think it's ever going to be over. I think a new travel and tourism industry will emerge from and in every place in the world, not just Thailand. With digital passports, digital records, facial recognition, probably retina recognition, fingerprints, the whole 9 yards. They can tell, in an instant what your entire medical history is. Um, I personally think that'll be the way to go, and that scares me a little bit. Um, who says I'm not a troll, dude? I am in ASQ right now, and I appreciate his message. Who called you a troll? Yeah, I don't think you're a troll, and I appreciate you appreciating the message. That's what the PayPal link's there for. So thank you very much. Let's see. Johnny Ringo, I will agree with you on the normalcy. It's going to take a while for the restaurants, bars, clubs to reopen. That's good. Will WS ever be the same? That's one word we can say because we're not talking about it in context of anything else. Walking Street, yeah, I don't think it'll ever be the same, but it'll be different. But it could be a good one. It could be a good one. It could be a good one. It could be better than it was before, in my opinion. And I think all the thoughts that the Thais had of tearing it down and making it more of a business district and that kind of thing. I think that if it was me, I would see the value now in having a place like that, and I think that would probably be. I think you'll probably see a boosted walking street, not a lower caliber walking street. That's my opinion, and I also think that you're going to start to see these clubs or bars, these air conditioned bars. You still have the open air stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I think you'll see a lot of the nightlife switching to a more online capacity, where you will be able to find your drinking companion or tour guide, as we call them. I think you'll be able to find them online through certain businesses that are open. I think that's going to be a big thing. And then I think the bars themselves are going to continue to make money off of live streams. So it's all about publicity, and it's all about what you make of it, really, is what it's going to be. Because those people are considered informal workers, and right now they're having a hard time. They don't get government benefits, as I'm sure you know. Greg said, considering the magic shot only prevents you from getting sick if you get the illness and does not prevent transmission, none of this really makes much sense. That's a good point. MedTech says this has likely already been covered, yet it is my hope that proof of the V will exempt the visitor from 10 to 14 days of Q go. Yeah, we did talk about that, and we're actually hoping that the entire ASQ or the Q in general will be eliminated by the magic shot. So that's what we're hoping for. Anon says, what is going to be interesting is if you will have to queue when going between Cha'am and Petchenbury and Hua Hin, and yeah, so when you're going between provinces. I don't think that's going to happen when they open back up, because by the time they open back up, they should have the situation under control enough that you shouldn't have to worry about it. There probably won't be. I think the Thai government may learn from this, as they learned the last time. They may learn that these, provincial lockdowns, and he's making this province a highly controlled zone, this one not, and all of the steps you have to go through to it is probably not the best idea, but or is not probably not the most efficient way to do things, I should say. And I'm sure that they will find a better way to do it because they do tend to learn pretty quick. Build back better, bleach. Hate the nomenclature of this worldwide situation. So do I, bro. So do I, Anon. You says I saw an article that Thailand is trying to change their model to welcome more quality tourists. Not sure what that means. That means rich. That's what that means. With rich and financially well off. What's up, Prince? He says the taxi driver almost kicked me out of his taxi last week because he thought I just arrived from the U.S. Yeah, you have to be careful with that. That's for sure. Sometimes I'll get in with my driver's license and show it to them, and it's because my driver's license are Thai license, so they don't know I've been here a while. Let's see. Yeah, we're not worried about that. It's all good. Prep for it says the more fools that refuse to wear masks and take it seriously, the longer the travel ban will last. I can't debate that point really. That's a medically it sounds correct, but it's still subjective depending on the user themselves. So that's the way you feel. That's the way you feel, brother. Preach your message loud and clear, and maybe you will be successful in talking to people into that. Mosquito, Thailand changed their mind hour to hour. Yep, we went over that yesterday too. What happened to the cold and flu season this year? Yeah, I know, right? That's a good question. Good question. Anon says, DoMoreLife, they already have extensive online boards for aerobics instructors, particularly within Bangkok. Yep. I can imagine. I can imagine. I live here. I can imagine. I can also understand why things are happening that way too. So, you says Hawaii had a great color scheme where if you were negative leaving the mainland, you did not have to go to Q. That's good. Lee said, I read China. Yeah, I read that too, and if that happens, I'll probably be looking for somewhere else to go. You says the online streaming business model can really take off if done properly. That's 100% correct. For example, there was a bar in Pattaya who kicked off a PayPal event because if your YouTube account is set up in Thailand, you can't receive super chats. Mine's set up in America, so I can't. But they kicked off a PayPal event one night. All the guys were buying girls drinks from all across the world and tipping them and that kind of thing. They made $1 million baht one night. $1 million baht. Anon says interprovincial travel between Cham and Hua Hin is like going between BTS Bangalore and BTS Samrong. It's very true. Very true. But you never know what the restrictions are going to be. You just never know, and that's the problem. And so, in my opinion, Thailand has to get a one system fix for that problem. They have to get a fix for the ASQ or any type of Q problem. I can understand if somebody comes down with sickness or whatever, that they have to go into some type of isolated area where they can be contained and not contagious. That's understandable. I get it. But to do that to an entire province and to do that to people who are coming in that have already been tested, it's not going to be a good thing. not at all. You says the flu is not an issue because there's too much floating around. Remember, the V is just another strain since you have so much. The flu has no chance of showing up. Yep, that's true. Way too many hot words in there, so I'm going to remove that one. But no disrespect, you. Stuck. Hey, Stuck. There you go. Good morning. I'm at a friend's watching football and trying to listen. Oh, I hear you, bro. I'm not going to keep it going too much longer. I understand there's some stuff going on and I need to check it out. Panpon, hello, Panpon. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You says also Americans have not discovered the online streams. Just a few of us. Once Middle America finds out, the bars here will make hundreds of millions. You got a point. It's good to see you, Stuck. Thanks for dropping in, man. I appreciate it. Anon says, you true about Americans not discovering. Yep, I agree with that statement. He said, it's okay. I work in biotech. Gotcha, bud. Gotcha. Greg says, I stumbled across one of those online fundraising events while watching a live beach cam on Copenhagen. It was interesting. Yeah, it's true. Single guy for you says one bar raised 75,000 USD on a GoFundMe page. I heard that too. Rocco says online streaming income taxes, no taxes. Oh yeah, there's always tax. If you're an American, you're going to have to pay taxes in America and taxes in Thailand. If you're not an American, you only have to pay Thailand taxes. So that's just one of the things about being American. You just have to get used to. America is one of two countries that makes you pay taxes throughout wherever you go, and you make money, whether it's in your country or another country. You're going to have to pay taxes, and it's kind of weird. So I'll wind it down. I got a lot to do today. Sunday, got to go back to work tomorrow. So I just want to say that to get how to safely reopen Thailand's tourism and travel industry is going to boil down to the magic shot and whether or not it works, and whether or not Thailand will accept the results of that. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to. For tourism to come back, they're going to have to do away with the queue altogether on incoming. Sure, you can test incoming arrivals, whatever. That may be a problem, may not be a problem. I'm not sure, but that's what it's going to take ultimately, and hopefully then people will start arriving back in. And I think with the amount of magic shots that are being ordered throughout the world, we will see a more rapid succession of success. Is that even right? I don't know, but I think it'll be successful. I really do. Stuck says it's not a flu. It's short for influenza. This is not an influenza V. If you want to know what happened to the flu, look at the states that have no restrictions, like Florida. Two strains are running rampant. Good info, Stuck. Lee says, thank you for sharing. Absolutely. You says, really appreciate your updates. Makes life here in ASQ manageable. You're more than welcome. I got a channel with more than 800 videos on it, so there's plenty of things to watch. And I have multiple, I've got hundreds of videos on Pattaya. So whether you've been to Pattaya before or not, you can always kick back and watch those. There's a lot of information in those videos as well. Thank you very much for your contribution, your PayPal contribution, sir. I appreciate that very much, very, very much. little bit goes a long way here in Southeast Asia. Anon says, bottom line is the population needs to have immunity against the sea, whether they get it from the video or the old-fashioned way. I agree 100%. 100%. And Robert's going to throw the PayPal link up there just to be sure. So on your way out, guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. If you feel like dropping a contribution, you can do that as well, but that's entirely up to you. That's not required or requested. Single guy for you says, do you think Thai people actually believe the shot will work? I think most do. Yes, I do. I spoke to a few who are actually afraid and will not get the shot. Most of the people that I've talked to are looking forward to it. We just may be talking to two different sets of people. So, going to do push-ups. I hear you. You enjoy the push-ups, brother. And I appreciate you being here. My moderators, Robert and Stuck, and anybody, and Roger, you guys for coming in. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm guessing that the football and everything else that's going on is having a impact on today's live stream, which is unfortunate. Greg says, happy ASQing you. Whatever exercise you could do is a fantastic idea. Yeah, it is. And that would give you a lot of time to exercise in that hotel room. Good night, Rocco. Thank you very much for being a channel member and for showing up in the live chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate your guys' ideas, and I appreciate your feedback, as always. So, love you guys, mean it. And I'll try to get the video out for you tomorrow. Yeah, what's more important, football or Thailand? Good point, Anna. Try to get a video out for you tomorrow and get a couple out this week. So we'll see what happens, and more content to come. I still got to get some Krabby videos out. I'm going to work on one of those today. So I'll talk to you guys later, and whatever you do today, hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and be sure to do more life. Okay, Stuck. See you, buddy. See you, Griffin. And everybody else. Take care.